Hi guys, I'm Vivek Kubadia and I'm co-founder of Hustlee Heartt. Today we are thrilled to welcome the co-founder of Tag8, Mr. Alok Sheth. Tag8 is a global track and trace solution company which secures your daily valuables and travel items. Imagine the number of times you've lost your phone or wallet and found it very difficult to locate the same. Well, worry no more, cause Tag8 has brought solution to this problem. So without any further ado, let's welcome Mr. Alok on the show.
Yeah. So first of all, sir, thank you so much, for coming to the show. It's a first episode, and you, out of your busy schedule, have given us a time. It means a lot.
It's absolutely my pleasure. Thank you for having me here.
So there's a lot to talk with you about your business and how you have scaled and everything. But I want to go a little bit backwards, and I want to understand, like, where did you do your schooling, which college you've been to, what did you study, and all. So why don't we start with a little introduction?
I'm a Bombay boy all through. We are three generations in Bombay and basically grew up in Shivaji Park, which is the sports oriented part of the city. Schooling was also around Dadar. So went to King George. Then from there I went to Ruia College. So it was all around that area. And after that, I did my engineering and MBA. Engineering in the mechanical field and MBA I did in finance. So that was the start of my journey.
Okay. So why engineering and then pursuing MBA? So were you like so much intrigued from the beginning?
In our days, we didn't have much choice. Either you become a doctor, engineer, or you have a CA. I come from a family of engineers. I used to admire engineers when the analytical and structured way of thoughts that they had always intrigued me, saying problem solving. Actually, engineering is all about solving a problem. That's what I loved about engineering. In early days, I never knew what's coming in the academics, but it was very different than what I thought. There's a lot of complicated mathematics, which today we don't use, but yeah, we've learned all of that. And that in a way also helped me get a sense of how do you kind of get around complex problem statements.
So after doing your MBA, where did you first did your job?
So I first got a break in consulting. So my very first job was management consulting. I was all set to join my dad's business, but this opportunity came my way, and I thought that it was really an attractive opportunity because management consulting gives you the opportunity to actually solve business problems. So when that opportunity came by, I thought I have to give it a shot. I thought I'll spend a couple of years. 2 years became 5, and then 5 became 12. So I totally spent about 12 years in management consulting at the end of it. But yeah, I thought it was worth it.
The way consultancy today, what people think is it's a very niche field. True, it's a cream field and a cream work to do. But there are a lot of pain points here because I believe that consultancy is not everybody's cup of tea. So what do you think? How, on scale of 1 to 10, how difficult you rate consultancy as?
So management consulting. So in Harvard, there was a professor who kind of said, and he asked the question to the class saying, which field do you think is the toughest amongst all the jobs that exist on the planet? And so everybody started giving answers. According to him, the most difficult profession was the US Marines.
Yeah.
And after that, he said management consulting because I can relate to it to some extent because we've spent like 2 days without sleeping. We've kind of had the physical hardships of staying on steel plants. So the journey really begins for every industry in consulting is that you start with understanding the whole space that the client is in, the industry dynamics, the overall economics of the sector, and then you're trying to kind of put in place a solution which works best for the client. And management consulting has various faculties, so strategy, operations, transformation, and stuff. And I've been lucky to kind of work in most of them, from HR consultants to strategy to operations to cost reduction to process improvements to business transformation to pretty much I would say pretty much everything is done in management consulting. I was lucky enough to do it.
There must be a lot of learning in that process, and in the journey, there must be a lot of grinding.
Absolutely. In our terms, we call it, we baked a lot of pizzas on the laptop charger. You order all the pizzas and then they get cold, and then you warm them on the laptop chargers because the pantry is closed, everything is closed, and we are there at 12 o'clock midnight trying to warm our pizzas for the midnight meal.
Wow. Can't relate, but I'm pretty sure that must be a very tough learning for.
We only had Domino's. There was
No.
Zomato, no Swiggy. So you slowly rely on Domino's, last order at 10 o'clock, and then you survive past midnight. Yes, on whatever is left from the pizza. I was very happy working at Universal Consulting.
So how was working with EY, the culture there, the growth of your career there? What was it like?
I think it was phenomenal. I think both at UC, there was a different set of learnings. At UC, there was a lot of emphasis on learning, and that really helped going forward because you're always up for it. You're in consulting, knowledge is the king, and how quickly you learn, how passionately you kind of pick up new things is what defines a good consultant. At EY, essentially, that whole culture that I came from kind of helped me grow in EY. EY is a very entrepreneurial culture. So we call it, in EY, essentially, it's a protected entrepreneur. So you are operating within the confines of a large firm, but you're pretty much an entrepreneur.
In yourself.
You have to go get business, you have to execute that business, you have to make sure you're growing your team, you're managing your team. So you're a firm within a firm in a way. People, if you look at it as a job, then it may be overbearing for you. But if you look at it, I run my business today and I don't shy away from working 12 hours, 14 hours. And that if you have that same mindset, even if you're working with a company, it doesn't feel like work. It's just your passion you're executing. EY is a firm within a firm, and everybody has their own style and ways of working. So I wouldn't say that if you're working at EY, you'd be working 12 hours and up to 12 o'clock. Not really. It depends on which service line you are in, which partner you're working with, what is the stage of the cycle of the project, and so on. I think there is conscious effort by EY to ensure work-life balance, but at the same time, clients are becoming more demanding. So in a professional service, every individual is the product. So it is difficult at times, but it's about how you manage, how you leverage all the tools nowadays which are available, how you leverage the knowledge which resides in the firm and work smartly and deliver the advice that you have to the client. I think it all depends on the individuals working for it.
So it is true that if you can work in EY, you can work anywhere in the world.
I would say so. I think
From what you've said, I've come to know this that you have to be charged up. You have to be motivated to work 12 hours. You have to be that hungry for work, and EY is the partner for you if you want to work that much.
Yeah, I think it's a very MNC culture. I think it's not very different from what it would be in other places. I've seen clients working that long as well.
Starting the entrepreneurial journey where every day is a new struggle, where every day things kind of go up and down and you have to manage all of that. So look, why this journey? What motivated you to come into entrepreneurship?
Look, like I said, even before I took up my first job, I was planning to be an entrepreneur. I come from a family of entrepreneurs who are all in different businesses. And so my mindset from the beginning was that I wanted to do something on my own. But when this opportunity of being in management consulting came through, it was very addictive, and I think I really enjoyed it. But it's been now 9 years in business for us, and it's been equally exciting. The challenges of the business is something that I think brings out the best out of an entrepreneur. But Yeah.
So coming to your entrepreneur journey only, how did it begin? What was the insight behind going and lost and found industry?
Yeah, so it was interesting. So we were actually, me, my partner, and a few others used to always discuss businesses and how businesses are being run. And over lunch, over our car rides to clients' places, and so on, we used to discuss business and how our clients, the entrepreneurs, are managing it. And we used to have our point of views on that. And at one point in time, we said, why not us? Why don't we do something together? And that's how the conversation got started. And all of us agreed, yes, it's a good idea, good opportunity. And at that point, we had the whole India Shining and the whole startups and all of that happening at that point in time. And there were a lot of successful startups coming through, especially in the Silicon Valley. And there was inspiration everywhere.
Okay.
But the comfort of getting that thick salary at the start of every month was a big hurdle for us to cross. But once we decided that we want to do it, we kind of didn't look back.
So who came up with the idea? Was it you or Sanjay sir?
So this idea was with me for a long time. And we baked it together over a period of time, and then we said, okay, this is it. This is something that we wanted to do. The reason we chose this is that, firstly, we wanted to do something which was a blue ocean. We didn't want to get into something which was previously done. We wanted to be innovative. And we thought this is a great idea, really, to have take up. Yeah, so that's how it started.
So were you kind of nervous or shy to approach Sanjay for joining? Because for him also, he even Sanjay sir has a great amount of experience in consultancy. And I understand you coming from a entrepreneurial background, or you have that doing something. So even Sor had that seed, or how you pushed him a bit.
So the way he puts it is that it was exactly the reverse. So in his first circle, there was nobody who was in business. Everybody had a job. So when he broke the news, that's what he tells me to his folks. They were like very surprised, and they were like, why would you even think about this? Because but I think it all started during those discussions that we were having, and it kind of we baked that idea together, and that's how we kind of got aligned to the whole concept of starting up. And he had already spent 20 years in consulting, so he was up for it. Maybe it was midlife crisis in his words, but that's something he was more than happy to kind of join.
So I want to talk about the beginning of the entrepreneurship journey. So basically what happens, like when you're in job, there are responsibilities, but the responsibility to a certain extent. And when you become a founder, from the tiniest of a pen to implementing a software or implementing into a new area where to expand the business, everything boils down to the founder. And was it difficult for you to adapt to that environment, or constantly answerable to everybody? How was it? Was it difficult for you?
Not really. As an entrepreneur, you have to make your decisions. You have to take your calls. There are some calls will go, some calls may not go, but you have to stick to your thought process. You have to stick to your belief, and that's important as an entrepreneur.
So now I'll come about, we'll talk about technology. So I believe that lost and found industry is a bit fragmented industry, and Tag8 is a enabled D2C brand. So how much focused were you on building the tech?
Yeah, see, tech is the core to this product, and that we knew from the beginning. And the way we started off is we said the speed to market is important, and it would take really long if we have to build everything internally. So the way we started is we hired a development firm, which was a big development firm at that point in time. They were 1,000 people or so we kind of aligned with them, and we said we want to kind of develop this. We also knew that just outsourcing development doesn't work. So we created a small team. So we had a CTO, we had my 50% of the time going on building the tech, designing the solution, and so on. Yeah. In 2014, our first client, I think, was about 9 months down. when we kind of cracked an insurance company. Yeah.
And that, so it took 9 months to launch your first product.
I would say you don't wait for your product to be fully baked before you start selling. So you want to hit the market early because the sales conversion cycles are long. So if you wait for your tech to be built out fully and then start your marketing and sales, it's going to
Extend the process.
the process by that much. So clients are happy if you're going to them with a proof of concept. And in those days, companies were happy to go by the credentials of the founders and say like, if this is the proof of concept, they'll be able to execute.
What was your first product with which you launched?
Right. So our first product was the passport security service.
Passport.
What we identified is that whenever someone travels abroad, let's say if your kid's going abroad, the first thing you would tell him at the airport before he leaves is that take care of your passport.
Yeah.
People are frantic about managing their passport. When they're on the trip, they keep it close to them. They wouldn't even trust the hotel lockers with their passport. So they want to carry it everywhere. So that's how important passport is. And we thought if we are able to solve that for our users, that's something that's a big problem statement that we are kind of solving. And so that was our first product.
Okay, so and what technology was used in passport?
So essentially, the way it started is we said that, okay, when somebody finds a passport, what do you do with it? Let's say if you find a passport, what will you do with it?
You return it to find.
But there is no contact detail on the passport. There's no way. And the person could be in some other part of the city or country. So let's say if you have a foreigner's passport here, what would you do? In today's world, you would try and find him on Google, or you would look him up on Facebook and try and see who this is, try and contact him. There's a lot of hustle involved in doing the thing, which is to return the passport.
True.
So we said we'll try to solve that problem by simply creating a service around it. Saying, so what we did is we said, or if you find a passport, simply call us. That passport, we have a tag on that passport. If you simply tap it or scan it, it will tell you exactly whom that passport belongs to. But that information will not be with the scanner. The person who scans it will reach our call center.
Okay.
And we in turn know that belongs to whom. So we then facilitate the pickup and delivery of the passport. And you sitting in the comfort of your house would have done the thing of returning the passport back. And the owner will be more than thrilled
to get his passport.
Save his entire itinerary. Is a big thing. And now, for example, it has evolved to a level where we have chips embedded, the beacons embedded in the passport, which make sure that as soon as if you've left the passport at a counter and you've stepped 15-20 feet away, the phone will alert you that you've left your passport here. So what we are trying to do is prevent people from losing their passport in the first place. If they lose it by any chance, we have a service around for the for pickup from the finder and delivery to the owner anywhere in the world.
So if somebody leaves his phone, leaves his passport over here and goes, to a certain level, so it gets notification. But if I'm here and I know that I'm keeping here and I'll come in 5 minutes, or let's say I have given it to somebody and my phone is with me and I'm going out somewhere. So wouldn't that be kind of disturbing that I know where is my passport, but it keeps on notifying me, it keeps on messaging me? Wouldn't that be a bit irritating?
Yeah, so it really depends upon the use case. Now, when you are on the travel, so we have something called the travel mode. In the travel mode, all your alerts get activated. If you are at a known place, we have a feature where you can actually mark it as a safe zone. So if you leave your passport at home or office or any of the safe zones at which you have notified us, it will not give you alerts. And we've learned over a period, exactly the way you asked, We used to get saying, I keep getting alerts. How do I manage it? So there is a technology solution for that. And over a period of time, we kind of built those in, wherein it's convenience with security.
Yeah.
That's what the objective is.
You mentioned that you use beacon.
Yeah.
So what is it? What does that mean?
So the beacons work on Bluetooth technology. I don't know if you heard of Tag8. Yeah. So essentially, it works exactly like the AirTag. Just that we launched our product, which is a dolphin tracker, a couple of years before AirTag launched. But yeah, AirTag has done a great job, of course, in popularizing the concept. But that's how it works. So, there is community search, there is separation alerts. You can ring to find your product, etc.
Coming to the product, what was your second product after Passport? What was the next? Let's say hierarchy of.
Yeah, so we tasted success in travel. Passport is a travel product. We tied up with travel companies. We tied up with insurance companies. And we said, okay, travel seems to be a great space. We developed our next product, which was the luggage tracker. For luggage tracker, we integrated our systems and tech with the CETA World Tracer Code, which is a Geneva-based company who manages the airport baggage handling systems globally, apart from doing many other things. So with that and our tech, we have a solution for the checked-in bags of travelers.
Okay, and so this second product which you're talking, does that have the similar technology of what you had in Passport?
Yes, so it is similar in a way, and plus because in the bag tracker, what I have is that if somebody loses the bag inside the airport systems, any baggage handler scanning the bag, scanning our tag, we get an alert saying your bag was found at so and so airport. So with this integration, it only helps our users to know quickly where their luggage is and track the luggage.
Let's say in an airport, I found a bag which has a tag, it's a tracker device on. I touch it. Should I be that man who goes and does the job? So in that case, was it still with the technology and all? There's still somewhere I believe that there is a blank space here. And how do you? I'm pretty sure you must have gotten that sort of complaints or that sort of need product. So how did you solve it?
Yeah, so you're touching the bag, maybe a decade back when the bombs used to go up every nook and corner. People were wary about touching anything which is lying around, and it is not recommended to do that. However, the official, let's say if you have left your bag in a bus, the bus driver or the bus is responsible to take that bag to the lost and found department. Same way in the train, same way in the cabs, same way at the airport, same way at the hotel. Whoever is responsible for that facility is responsible for managing the lost and found in that facility. And for us, it's not about any and every individual wanting to do. At the end, that bag has to go somewhere, and somebody will be trying to figure out whether it is the law enforcement or the facility managers. They are trying to then figure out how do we return this bag to whom before they eventually dispose it. But yeah, we got these kind of questions, but frankly, it is somebody has to take it. Can't keep lying there. So if somebody has if somebody feels that it is dangerous to handle it, the responsible authorities will come and address it. But it has to be addressed.
Let's say that the bag is lost and it has a tracker. So will that tracker give sounds or any sort of indication that then I have a technology enabled with me and there is a way to find it?
Yeah.
So with tracker, if it is lost and let's say I'm at some other place, so then will and if let's say authorities also find it, so how would they reach out? I mean, let's say if I go on a railways, if I travel by train, I'm pretty sure that they take the bag and put that in the lost and found department. So without any indication even to them, wouldn't it be difficult to reach to the?
So we are trying to solve. There are two problems. The first problem is how do I prevent the bag from lost?
Yeah,
that's it. That's your first leg of the problem. Second is if it still gets lost, how do I in a best possible way, find it?
First.
So the first one, we think we reduce the instances of something getting lost significantly.
Yeah.
So I would say if you have a tracker, there's a 90% chance that you'll never lose it. The reason is that if the bag goes away from you, you're going to get a alert. So you are instantly alerted about the whereabouts of your bag. If it gets lost, there are two things that we do. One is that we have a community. We call it our network of finders. So every Tag8 user is also a Tag8 finder. So let's say in a crowded airport, for example, if the bag has been lying somewhere and you're not able to track it, when anybody else from the community walks by that bag, the location gets updated.
Oh, okay. Understood.
The other thing is that let's say if you've been separated from the bag at a particular place and if the bag hasn't moved, you still know the last seen location in the app. So where you left
it. Okay.
The community comes in when if the bag has moved from that location to somewhere else, the community will update the location.
Okay.
So that's the tech part. Then we have the human part where somebody finds it and he wants to return the bag to the owner, but without the hassles.
True.
So for that purpose, he simply has to scan the QR code on the bag. Our call center is connected.
Yeah.
And then they will facilitate the return. So they tell the finder what to do with the bag. And we will constantly be in touch with the owner of that bag because we know whom it belongs to. And if he happens to be around, we try and get it sorted there and there. If he's already moved on, we'll pick up the bag and deliver it to him.
Come to the next part. Like, let's say that I am in my 20s and I want to start a tech business. So according to you, what should or should not I do to start a business?
I think you need to find a really relevant problem to solve. It's not about tech, it's not about software. Your thought process has to be, what is the problem I'm trying to solve? Like you think is a real problem, and then how you can bring technology around it to solve that problem. And in some cases, you'll be surprised to know that it may not be technology that is really required to solve that problem. It could be any of the other things like it could be processes, it could be servers, it could be anything else that is required to solve it. But the idea is to identify the problem statement.
Because a solution to a problem is important.
So in our case, it was saying we want to solve the lost and found problem.
Yeah.
Now, partly it is technology, but partly there are many other things that need to be done to kind of address that. Technology is an enabler.
And let us say that I've found a problem. I've got my the goal, the motto in my life, and I've started building the team and everything. According to you, the initial basis, what would be the cost of setting infra for the tech? Because tech comes with a great infrastructure, and there's huge investment which needs to be back to it. So according to what would be the cost of setting it? If you could give us a ballpark number.
Yeah, it frankly really depends on what problem you are trying to solve and what kind of tech are you trying to build. Now, there are many tech solutions now which can be done very easily with all the tools that are available. If you are trying to solve a much more complex problem with a lot of IT infrastructure that is required to kind of solve it, then of course it's going to take a lot more in terms of your investment. But I would just step back from there and say that for all the young entrepreneurs, there is so much happening in terms of incubation, in terms of which are available. So you first need to reach out to the relevant authorities. Like if you're trying to solve a problem which is associated with farming, for example, there are so many organizations available who would kind of fund you to kind of get your minimum value proposition going.